Have you ever experienced a moment that felt strangely familiar? Maybe you were having a conversation with someone, and suddenly, you felt as if you had already lived that exact moment before. The same words, the same surroundings, the same feeling. For a few seconds, it almost feels like you're remembering the present instead of experiencing it. Most people brush it off and move on. But here's what's strange. The more scientists study déjà vu, the more mysterious it becomes. But what if that strange feeling is pointing to something deeper? This phenomenon has fascinated scientists, philosophers, and spiritual thinkers for more than a century. And even today, nobody can fully explain it. This is the mystery of déjà vu. The term, déjà vu, comes from French and literally means, already seen. It was first introduced in 1876 by French philosopher Émile Bourac, who used it to describe the eerie feeling of familiarity that appears in completely new situations. What's fascinating is that you're not alone. Studies suggest that around 2/3 of people experience déjà vu at least once in their lives. Think about that for a moment. Billions of people throughout history have experienced the same impossible feeling. It can happen anywhere, in a classroom, on a street you've never visited, or during an ordinary conversation. The experience usually lasts only a few seconds. Yet those few seconds can leave a lasting impression. So what does science say? One of the most popular explanations is known as the dual processing theory. According to this idea, the brain's perception and memory systems briefly fall out of sync. As a result, a new experience is accidentally processed as if it were a memory. The moment feels familiar, even though it's happening for the first time. Another explanation is called the divided attention theory. Imagine walking through a room while your attention is focused on something else. Your brain may still register parts of the environment without your conscious awareness. Later, when you actually pay attention to those details, they feel strangely familiar, almost as if you've seen them before. Some researchers have also explored what's known as the hologram theory of memory. The idea suggests that a tiny detail in the present can trigger an entire pattern stored somewhere in the brain. You don't consciously remember the original memory, but the feeling of familiarity remains. Then there are the findings of neurosurgeon Wilder Penfield. During brain surgeries in the 1950s, Penfield electrically stimulated specific regions of the brain. Surprisingly, some patients reported experiences that sounded remarkably similar to déjà vu. This led researchers to suspect that the phenomenon may be connected to the temporal lobe, a region heavily involved in memory. These theories help explain how déjà vu might occur, but they don't completely solve the mystery. Because déjà vu doesn't just feel familiar. It often feels meaningful, as if your mind is trying to tell you something. And that's where another perspective enters the conversation. The Quran does not directly mention déjà vu. However, it describes a moment before human life when all souls stood before their Creator and bore witness to Him. Some Islamic scholars have reflected on this concept and suggested that the human soul may carry traces of realities that the conscious mind can no longer access. Could déjà vu be connected to those forgotten memories? Could it be a faint echo of something beyond ordinary awareness? Perhaps. Or perhaps not. There is currently no scientific way to prove such a connection. But the question itself is fascinating. Because throughout history, whenever people encountered something they couldn't fully explain, they searched for answers beyond what they already knew. And it reminds us that not every mystery has a simple answer. Maybe déjà vu is a neurological illusion. Maybe it's a quirk of memory. Or maybe it's one of those rare experiences that exists at the boundary between science and something deeper. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. More than 100 years after it was first named, déjà vu remains one of the most mysterious experiences in human life. A moment that feels impossible. A memory that never happened. And a question that still has no final answer. So the next time reality feels strangely familiar, ask yourself, is it just your brain playing tricks on you? Or is there something about human consciousness that we still don't understand?